The unexpected visitor. The early morning silence of the mining outpost was abruptly shattered by a loud crash. Kira, a feathered alien of the avian species, shot up from her nest pouch, her heart racing. The door to her quarters had been kicked open, and standing in the doorway was a human, disheveled, clad in only his underwear, and wielding a heavy wrench. His predatory eyes scanned the room, locking onto Kira. "Are you all right?" "I heard screaming," he demanded, his voice thick with concern. Kira hopped out of her bed, her wings stretching out instinctively. "I'm okay. I just had bothersome thoughts while asleep. I'm sorry if they woke you." The human's posture relaxed slightly, his tense body language softening. He leaned the door back on its frame, then hesitated before nearly sitting on one of Kira's small chairs. He realized it wouldn't hold his weight and stood back up. "Don't apologize for your nightmares, my little bird buddy," he said, his voice now soothing. "Tell me what's wrong. Humans don't usually have nightmares unless something is really bothering us." Kira's feathers ruffled with anxiety. "My son is in the hospital. He needs a transfusion, and I am the only compatible donor. The next transport isn't for another week." She paused, struggling to speak past the lump in her throat. "The government office said they can't send an unscheduled transport for a medical emergency if it's not for someone at the outpost." The human, Manny, furrowed his brow in thought. "Will he be able to hold on until then?" he asked, his voice gentle but insistent. Kira shook her head. "The doctors say it's possible, but the odds are not good." Manny's expression hardened with determination. "We'll see about that," he muttered, striding over to the comms unit. "This is Manny Alley. I need an emergency transport sent to Mining Outpost 457. Send it immediately." The operator on the other end of the line responded with procedural indifference. "Government policy hasn't changed. We can only dispatch emergency transport to the location of the emergency." Manny's face darkened. "Listen here. Either you send us a transport, or you'll be scheduling one for yourself. If anything happens to that boy, I will hunt you down, pluck you bald, then deep fry you in 15 different secret spices, and feast on your carcass in front of your coworkers." The operator squawked in fear and cut the line. "I overdid it," Manny grunted, frustration evident in his voice. "But we're not done yet. Get your bag and meet me at the landing pad." Kira hurried to follow his instructions, curiosity and hope mingling in her chest. When she arrived at the landing pad, she found Manny already there, a determined glint in his eyes. The desperate plan. As Kira reached the landing pad, she saw Manny working on an old, battered transport vehicle. The human had an intense look of concentration, his hands moving swiftly as he tinkered with the machine. "Manny, what are you doing?" Kira asked, her voice tinged with worry and confusion. "I'm getting us a ride," Manny replied without looking up. "We might not have an official transport, but we're not without options." Kira watched in awe as Manny worked. Humans were known for their ingenuity and ability to improvise, and Manny was no exception. Within a short time, he had the vehicle sputtering to life. "Hop in," Manny instructed, his voice calm but firm. Kira hesitated for a moment, then climbed into the passenger seat. The transport was old and rickety, but it would have to do. Manny maneuvered the vehicle expertly, navigating the rough terrain of the mining colony with ease. As they sped towards the nearest spaceport, Kira's mind raced. What if we get caught? This isn't exactly legal. Manny glanced at her, a reassuring smile on his face. "Let me worry about that. We're getting your son the help he needs." Despite her fears, Kira felt a flicker of hope. Manny's determination was infectious. They reached the spaceport without incident, and Manny guided the transport into a secluded area. "We'll need to stow away on the next ship heading to the city," Manny explained, checking the schedules on a nearby terminal. "There's one leaving in an hour." Kira nodded, her heart pounding. The plan was risky, but it was their only option. They waited in the shadows, watching the crew load the ship. When the moment was right, They slipped aboard, hiding among the cargo. The ship's engines roared to life, and they were on their way. Kira tried to relax, but her mind was filled with worry for her son. Manny placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "We'll get there in time," he said softly. "I promise." The journey felt interminable, but eventually they felt the ship touch down. They waited until the crew had disembarked before sneaking off the vessel. Manny led Kira through the bustling spaceport, his confidence never wavering. A race against time. The city was a chaotic maze, but Manny navigated it with ease. He flagged down a transport, and they sped towards the hospital. Kira's anxiety grew with each passing moment, but Manny's presence kept her grounded. As they arrived at the hospital, Kira rushed to the front desk. "My son needs a transfusion. I'm the donor. Please, it's urgent." The receptionist quickly processed the information and directed them to the emergency wing. Within minutes, Kira was being prepped for the procedure. Manny stood by, offering words of encouragement. "You've got this, Kira," he said, squeezing her hand. "Your son will be fine." Kira nodded, grateful for his support. The medical team worked swiftly, and soon Kira was donating the much-needed blood. Exhausted but relieved, she finally allowed herself to rest. Hours later, a doctor approached them with a smile. "The transfusion was successful. Your son is stable and will make a full recovery." Kira felt tears of relief well up in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, overwhelmed with gratitude. Manny grinned, a look of satisfaction on his face. "I told you we'd make it. Consequences and new beginnings." With her son out of danger, Kira felt a wave of exhaustion wash over her. She and Manny found a quiet corner in the hospital to rest. As they sat there, the reality of what they had done began to sink in. "Manny, we broke so many rules to get here. What if we face consequences?" Kira asked, her voice trembling. Manny shrugged. "We did what we had to do. Sometimes rules need to be bent for the right reasons. We'll deal with the fallout when it comes." Kira admired Manny's resolve. Humans were indeed remarkable in their ability to push boundaries and find solutions in the face of adversity. She felt a newfound respect and gratitude towards her human friend. The following day, they were called into a meeting with hospital administrators and government officials. Kira's heart pounded in her chest as they explained the situation. "We understand the urgency of your actions, but there are protocols in place for a reason," one of the officials said sternly. "However, given the circumstances, we are willing to overlook this incident." Kira sighed in relief, but the official continued. "However, there will be repercussions. You'll both need to complete community service hours and attend a hearing to review safety protocols." Manny nodded. "Fair enough. We did what we had to do." The meeting concluded, and Kira felt a sense of relief wash over her. Her son was safe, and while there would be consequences, they had succeeded in their mission. As they left the hospital, Kira turned to Manny. "Thank you, Manny. I couldn't have done this without you." Manny smiled warmly. "Anytime, Kira. Humans and avians aren't so different. We look out for each other." Building bridges. Back at the mining outpost, life slowly returned to normal. Kira resumed her duties, but with a renewed sense of purpose. She shared her story with her fellow avians, hoping to inspire them with the lessons she had learned from Manny. The community service hours brought Kira and Manny even closer. They worked together, helping to improve the outpost and fostering a sense of unity between the different species. The experience taught Kira the value of collaboration and the strength that comes from working together. Kira also made it a point to advocate for better emergency protocols, sharing her story with officials and pushing for change. Her efforts did not go unnoticed, and soon, new policies were implemented to ensure that no one else would face the same challenges she had. Manny continued to be a pillar of support, always ready with a helping hand or a word of encouragement. Their friendship deepened, and Kira found herself relying on his wisdom and strength more and more. A new mission. Months passed, and Kira's son made a full recovery. Life at the outpost had improved significantly, thanks to the changes implemented after their ordeal. Kira felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing that her efforts had made a difference. One day, Manny approached her with a new idea. "Kira, what if we take this a step further? What if we create a team dedicated to helping others in emergencies? We could use our experience to make a real impact." Kira's eyes lit up with excitement. "That's a brilliant idea, Manny. We could call it the Emergency Response Unit. Humans and avians working together to save lives." The idea quickly gained support, and soon, the Emergency Response Unit was established. Kira and Manny led the team, training members in emergency procedures and response tactics. The unit became a beacon of hope, ready to spring into action whenever disaster struck. Their efforts did not go unnoticed, and the outpost flourished under their leadership. The bond between humans and avians grew stronger, and Kira felt a profound sense of purpose in her new role. The legacy continues. Years later, the Emergency Response Unit had become an integral part of the mining outpost. Kira and Manny had trained countless individuals, ensuring that their legacy of bravery and cooperation would continue. Kira looked back on the journey with pride. She had faced immense challenges, but with Manny's help, she had overcome them. Their story had inspired others to work together, bridging the gap between species and creating a stronger, more resilient community. As Kira watched her son play with his friends, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. The future was bright, and she knew that their efforts had made a lasting impact. Humans and avians had proven that by working together, they could achieve the impossible. And so, the story of Kira and Manny became a legend, a testament to the power of determination, friendship, and the unbreakable bond that can form between different beings. Their legacy would continue to inspire generations to come, reminding everyone that sometimes the most extraordinary heroes are those who simply refuse to give up.